How to carve a dolphin-shaped outdoor fence decoration. Now I start with a white PVC material. This is 1 inch thick. I get it down at the local Home Depot. I printed out the outline of the dolphin and just traced it onto the material. And then used a jigsaw just to cut out that entire outline. This stuff is a little bit softer than wood, but my thought is that it's never going to dry rot, and it theoretically should last forever. A little bit more expensive, but well worth it. I'm then going to move to the main tool for the job, which is a 4.5 inch angle grinder. I've got a flap sanding wheel on it. Mine, the one that I'm using right here, is a 60 grit. You could also use an 80 grit. This grinds very, very quickly, and I'm just going to go over each one of the fins, the pectoral fins, and just grind down the outline of each one of those fins. I'll also use that angle grinder to start to round over the entire body of the dolphin. You can see here with the dorsal fin, I'm just going to follow the outline. This stuff carves easier than wood, so you have to be a little careful. You don't want to apply too much pressure. And then I'm going to use that same angle grinder to start to round over that fin and, of course, carve the details as far as the nose of the dolphin, and then start to round over the head. None of this is difficult. You just have to have a light touch. Make sure you're wearing a mask as well as protective goggles. After everything was rounded over as best I could with the angle grinder, I moved to an oscillating sander. I sanded with an 80 grit paper and then with a 120 real quick. And then I just spray painted it. I spray painted the bottom of the dolphin in a light blue, let it dry, coated it with painter's tape, and then painted the top of the dolphin in a darker blue. This way, when I peel off that painter's tape, the light blue area of the belly is exposed. Now, this is a very flat color. I'm gonna fix that later. The eye, I did with self-adhesive vinyl. I just cut out a round circle out of white and then the pupil out of black. Now, I'm gonna coat this with a very high gloss resin from TotalBoat.com called their Maker Epoxy. It's a 2-part epoxy. You mix for 5 minutes. I apply it with a foam brush so you don't get any of the little hairs into the resin. This is a pearlescent resin dye, or resin color. I added some light blue to the light blue belly area, and I added some darker blue to the top of the dolphin. And then I just use a hairdryer to push that color around and spread it around. And this just adds a little bit of dimension to that flat base coat of blue from the spray can. It really enhances the finished product immensely, especially when you see this thing out in the sun and the sunlight hits that pearlescent color. So once everything is pushed around, anytime you're using resin, you can get small micro bubbles into the mix. So I use a little butane torch, and you just go over real quickly, and it pops any of those bubbles. It thins out the resin and helps any bubbles that are in the mix reach the surface and dissipate. So you end up with a clearer, high gloss finish. This is the end result. I made a couple of these dolphins for the backyard fence. I think the kids are going to love them. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching.